Hello, fighter survivors and thrivers. Welcome to the Cancer Show. It is Super Inspiration Sunday. And look, love is still in the air. Look, I can't believe it. 2 weeks. Love is still in the air. Love is everywhere and it never goes away. So don't forget that. You are loved and you must take the time to love yourself as well. It's in the air all the time. Okay, so today I want to start with I am inspired, okay? The very first post that I did in 2015, I did 365 days of I am inspired. Every day I would take a picture and post it and then write about it. So on New Year's Day, my family and I went to church and there was this woman, this gorgeous woman, and she had on this headdress and a beautiful dress to match, okay? Sunday's best, at its best. And I'm like, oh, I'm so inspired by that, you know? Like, obviously she went through a lot of effort to, you know, put on her headdress and, you know, look so nice and come to church and represent. It feels good to dress up. You know, it's too bad that Sunday, you know, sometimes it's just jeans and a t-shirt, but hey, you know what? Anyway, that anybody can get to church, I'm down with. But still, it's nice. I think it's really nice for people to dress up, to look good, to show up on certain occasions, and church is one of them. So my children are not allowed to wear jeans to church. No. That's one of those non-argument laws in my house. You cannot do that. So anyways, I love hats. For those of you who know me, I do love hats. I love to wear hats to the beach, special events, and, you know, just sometimes just for fun. This hat I wore to the Veuve Clicquot Open, which was a polo match in oh my gosh, what park was it? Give me a minute. Will Rogers State Park, which is basically right next to PCH, which is close to Malibu. Let's put it like that. And so they set up this huge polo event, and Veuve Clicquot sponsored it, and it was so much fun. I can't remember how much a bottle of Veuve Clicquot, like just a normal one, it was like $2.50. Sip slow, people. And it was super, super fun, and a lot of people wore hats, okay, because it's a polo match, and you wear a polo match, and you wear hats at a polo match, and anyways, we were on the poor side, and then there was the fancy side, the gardens, and you had to, I mean, we had lines, and they had bathrooms, but it was much nicer on the other side. Anyways, when we went, you know, when you go in the field and you step on the divots. I think they're called divots. And and one of my friends that was with us had a friend on the other side, and she's like, let's just go under the rope. I was like, no, we're gonna get in trouble. Let's get in trouble. Anyways, she went under the rope. She made it, and my other friend and I, we went back to the other side. We got caught before we even tried. And it was so strange because one of my friends was playing polo. Like, she was on the team. It was crazy. Anyways, super, super fun. But, you know, seersucker suits for the men and regular suits and, you know, beautiful gowns and hats and dresses. It was like super, super fun afternoon. And of course, I love Veuve Clicquot, she's got an amazing story. I should share that with you sometime. But Veuve Clicquot means widow Clicquot. And so when her husband passed away, she started Veuve Clicquot, which is a wonderful champagne. Perfect for many celebrations. So anyways, the other reason I love hats is because they cover me. So when I am, you know, in the sun, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm very, very, very white. I'm very white because I have no color in my skin, zero. I had vitiligo, okay, or I have it, but my vitiligo started in a very, very small dot, okay? just down by my thigh. And then it spread and spread and spread. And then when I had my babies, because vitiligo is an autoimmune disease. I mean, I don't really think of it as a disease. Cancer to me is a disease, but anyways, when when your immunity goes to protect something else, like a baby in your belly, then I guess the defense for vitiligo would open up. And so my vitiligo would grow and grow and grow. In fact, right before I got diagnosed, I was going to just bleach my skin anyways. Then I threw all the bleach stuff out because I had cancer, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do anything else to my body, just focus on my treatment. So when I had my first baby, my vitiligo spread, and then my second baby, my vitiligo spread more, and then when I had cancer, it spread more. And I can see, or I can share with you, if you go back in some of my photos, when I'm getting chemo, you can still see my regular skin, my normal skin, which is a little bit olivey. And by the end of the treatment, it was pretty much gone. So I'm head to toe vitiligo. Like Michael Jackson, he had vitiligo too. And it often starts in the hands. That's why I started wearing the gloves. People don't know that, but that's what happened. I had my elbows, my knees, around my eyes, and now I'm completely covered. I'm completely porcelain white, or as my friends call me, they call me pasty perfect. Okay, I'll take it. I am a little pasty, and people are like, why don't you do a tan or a fake tan? I did that before. That's just not me. I embrace my, my porcelain or pasty skin, whatever. And I make sure that I cannot really be in the sun. So I have to wear a lot of sunscreen and almost always a hat. My doctor told me, you are now a cabana girl, which is fine. I like the cabanas. So whenever I'm on a vacation and it's going to be all about the sun, I get the thick sunscreen, and I use that, and then I have a hat, and I have, I basically cover myself just to be safe, because getting burnt, there's nothing stopping the sun from my skin. I can go out for 5 minutes and I will be sunburned. So I have to be aware of that. Anyways, I love hats anyways. Even if I didn't have vitiligo, I would wear hats. But I just think they're super fun. And even men in hats. I like the old school, the 50s, the 60s. I just think they're classy and they're fun. Okay, so getting back to I Am Inspired is the first mass of the year 2015, and there was this woman, and she was dressed so beautifully, and I'm like, oh, I'm so inspired. So I took a picture of her, and then I wrote about it, and then from there, every day for 365 days, I would take a picture and call it I Am Inspired, and then I would write about it. So I'm going to go through the 365 days with you throughout this year, maybe into the next, I don't know, because there's a lot of them. But I wanted to share the history of the headdress which she was wearing, and I will post a photo of that. But it was so beautiful, and I'm like, I wonder, how there's always something behind, why we wear white, or when we get married, or, what the tassels are for in the Jewish faith. There's always a story behind it. So this is the story, the history of the headdress. The African headdress, formerly known as geli. I really hope I'm saying that right. Is it jelly? No, it would not. I'm going to say geli, and it probably has an accent, but I don't know how, I'm not sure. So let's just go with geli. Found in West Africa, was used to wrap the individual's head in a garment of interesting colors, textures, patterns, and design. However, the symbolism behind the headdress is much more than just a wrap. The history of the head wrap can be tracked back to the Nubian Empire and the ancient Egyptians. Priests, queens, kings, and those who had wealth and power adorned themselves with intricate head wraps. Priests, kings, and queens often wore head wraps that were tall and had some sort of decoration such as sun discs or feathers. One could also identify a deity or god depending on how the headdress was worn and decorated. Fabulous. I love it. As time progressed, West Africans further developed the design and style of the head wrap. Today, the most authentic headdresses can be found in West Africa. West Africans developed the geli, which is the headdress that typically ties up the crown of the head. Different gelis are worn for different occasions. For example, wedding and party gelis will often be larger in size and made with exotic colors, whereas an everyday casual geli will be much smaller, fitting closer to the head and express more nude and simple colors. The geli was a symbol of power and status in West Africa. Those who could afford the geli often wore more exotic colors and styles. For practical purposes, the headdresses served as means of protection from the sun. There you go. We're still doing it. All these years later, we're still doing that. And if you think about it, we do the same things. We have fancy hats for fancy occasions. And, we have like golf hats for golfing. We have party hats. We have New Year's Eve hats. Like we have all these kinds of hats. Then we just have just like fun hats. Just like all kinds of like a beret or... There's just so many options, but with those hats goes with a certain day or event or feeling. You're not going to wear a big fancy hat to, go to the grocery store. But you would wear a ball cap to go to the grocery store. So I used to do this thing called the Lovely Ladies Tea, and we would all have to wear hats. And back then, I still have these hats, but there's these big, huge, fluffy, feathery party hats, like super, super fun. And I got to tell you, we had so much fun wearing those hats, and people had fun also watching us having fun in our hats. Okay, going on. By the 1700s, the geli migrated to the Americas. The geli of African Americans is often associated with stereotypes and was used as means of oppression. Ooh, I don't like that. The Negro Act of 1735, that's a long time ago, was one of the first forms of oppression that forced African Americans to wear certain forms of clothing in order to identify a slave from a free black person. Oh, that's horrible. What is different between the African headdress and the African American headdress is that you see a shift in the symbolism behind the clothing and the wearers of the clothing. In the past, women and men wore the headdresses, but women became the primary wearers of African headdresses in America. The headdresses protected them from the sun, again, covered their hair when it was not presentable. That's true, you can put a hat on if you don't want to do your hair. It protected them from lice infestation, oh, yuck, and identified the woman as a slave. Totally not okay. Not okay in any way. That's horrible, horrible, horrible. That's not a headdress that I like or support in any way. That's horrible. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry they had to go through that. Even though the headdress marked women as slaves, they eventually used the head wrap as a mean of empowerment. Yes, I love that. The head wrap became uniquely their own, and they learned how to distinguish themselves through different methods of tying. Amazing, amazing. So they took something that was negative and they turned it into something positive. And I love that. So for you, those of you that are going through treatment and you lost your hair, it will grow back. I promise you it will grow back, probably thicker and more luscious than ever before. You have options of all kinds of head wraps and handkerchiefs. And of course, it doesn't make it better or okay, but if you look at it from the point of view, you have an option to be creative and try new things. and embrace your beautiful scalp. Embrace it. And there's all kinds of wigs, and they make the wigs so, so good right now. They make amazing, excellent wigs. And, you can get them for free as well. If you need help with that, just message me and I will help you find somebody where you can get a wig for free. But you can do scarves, hats, all kinds of things to, to ease the pain. And you know what? You can also rock a bald head. A lot of people do that right now. There's actually a woman that I met, and she's gorgeous, and she shaved her head, and she had her ears, lots of earrings and piercings, but gosh, she just radiated. She looked beautiful. So embrace it. Cry, have the ceremony. Cut your hair, shave your head, cry, mourn, and then let it go and step in to embracing your look for the moment. It won't be forever. And wrap your head up. Wrap your head up in love, in courage, in inspiration, in hope. Or not. Just let it be. Because that's a statement too. You are more powerful than you know. And through your cancer journey, you will realize how strong you are. Honestly. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today for I Am Inspired Sunday. If you're going out tonight, find a hat, put it on, take a picture, and post it. Or post one of your favorite hats, or one of the times that you wore a hat and you had an amazing time in that hat. Just post it and tell me about it. I would love, love, love to hear. I might just wear this hat to the dog park because that's where I'm going. They'd be like, why does she have that on? Not that I care. But yeah, I would love to see your hats, your favorite hats. So please post. I will post this lovely woman's headdress that I saw on during the first mass of 2015, which literally sparked I'm Inspired. From that point on, I just posted. So that headdress inspired me to do 1 year of sharing inspiration with my people. And you are my people. Okay, tomorrow, Cancer-centric Monday. Just come, make sure you have water, but just make sure that you're comfortable. You can sit in a chair, in a bed, in a hospital bed, on the couch, whatever. And we are just going to close our eyes, relax, connect with our higher power, and cleanse, and cleanse, and cleanse, and move forward every day in that step of building ourselves, loving ourselves, strengthening our inner core, physically, mentally, and spiritually. All right, daily mantra, here we go. I am healthy, I am happy, I am whole. Again, I am healthy, I am happy, I am whole. One more time, say it like you mean it. I am healthy, I am happy, I am whole. The thriving starts now.